USA after that is slowly going down. China is slowly increasing. So as you said, the major reason for China's growth has been their economic growth. They have integrated almost practically with all the countries of the globe, including the US. Now, what we are recently trying to do, we are trying no imports, we are banning some things, banning some apps. So we are trying to do a forced decoupling of our economy. Like this, many countries across the globe, including in South Africa, South America, Africa, Europe, all of these countries have been heavily integrated with China. Now, their trade, what is our forex? Price of our forex approximately. It has exceeded that. It is around 550 billion. Now, China's forex is around 2,900 billion. Imagine the gap. So this economic might, they are slowly transferring into military might. And one more important thing they are doing. What is a clean dot network? Anyone paper la padichingla? Okay, there is something going on with this. Yes. This economic might which they generated. Now, how did they generate it? By creating a very good environment for low cost manufacturing. Almost all the electronic products across the globe are either manufactured there or they are assembled in China. Now, they got a lot of money from this. They diverted it to two things. One, military development. They started creating more jets, more missiles, more nuclear warheads, more aircraft carriers. One more thing, wonderful thing that they did was invest in R&D. Now, what is their scale of investment? How far they have been successful? In the R&D, for example, let us take 5G. They have more number of patents than United States. So that is the reason why United States is worried. So they have a 5G technology. China has a 5G technology. No other country in the globe has proven its 5G technology. Small innovations are taking place. Now all the countries of the globe are trying to adopt 5G. Now whoever captures this market, so it is like a fresh market. Every country will adopt it. It will again result into billions and billions of dollars in their revenue, which they will again pump into R&D, more products, they will keep on rising. So this has been one of their challenges. So this, they have been doing it recently. And there was something called peaceful rise. Have you heard of it? There was a Chinese premier called Deng Xiaoping. He gave a concept called peaceful rise. That is, China does not want to come have any war with any country. We don't want to be aggressive. We want to have prosperity for our citizens. Now, this changed in 2013-14 with the rise of Xi Jinping, who is the premier now. He gave something, any idea what that is? In the Mario concept. He gave something called Chinese dream. So their goal is to become the dominant power of the globe by 2049. Why 2049? Baking? No. Other one of their schemes, the Chinese dream, their vision for the world, the policy document. So what they have told is, by 2049, we will be the most dominant power in the globe. Why 2049?
Agreement of Hong Kong.
Chinese Communist Party established. When did they have their power? World history is over for you guys. You must be telling me. 1949. That is when the Communist Party came into power. So since then, they have had this vision to dominate the globe. These people, so now they are coming, the peaceful rise so that other countries will not come and stop their growth. Now, ever since this Xi Jinping has come, he has openly told, I want to become the most dominant player in the globe. So this is as far as China and US are concerned. Now, why this or why this workshop, why this emerging world order பத்தி இப்போவே ஏன் பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா, ever since the COVID crisis, this topic has come into the news repeatedly a lot of times. A lot of thinkers, including our foreign minister, Mr. Jay Shankar, who was also the foreign former secretary, he has come up with a book, The India Way, where he has said or talked about all these challenges and the emerging new world order. So far, this is the state. Now we'll get into recent times. Okay, was COVID-19 Chinese project? Is it a Wuhan virus as Donald Trump claims it? இது கண்டிப்பா படிச்சிருப்பீங்கல்ல பேப்பர்ல. What is your view on it? Was it manufactured in the lab or was it natural? Possibilities are there. That is the best answer we can give with respect to IR, because we won't know what has actually happened. So yes, possibilities are there. They manufactured it and they let it float in their population first, then they impacted other countries. Whether they manufactured it or not, their hand in spreading this virus is very, very clear. How? Why? So this is one example wherein உள்ளுக்குள்ள எல்லாம் கட் பண்ணிட்டு abroad you enjoy அப்படின்னு எல்லாத்தையும் அமுச்சு விட்டாங்க. One, then not only one scientist, the doctors who first treated this, who first identified this strain, all those doctors, scientists, everyone has been silenced. So whether they created it, they could have created it, but whether it originated by nature, their hand in spreading this virus is very, very clear. So this can be cited as one example. WHO's response can be cited as another example. What did WHO tell in December? First, they were not bothered about it. They told it's a local phenomenon. Next, they told human to human transmission is not possible. Then by January 31, they told, no, it is human to human transmission is possible. Now, இதை இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பின்னாடி போய் அனலைஸ் பண்ணி பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, the current director general of WHO, Mr. Tagros, he was directly supported by China in his election, and he is now showing his loyalty to China. So he went to China and he told, the measures that you have done to control this virus are superb. So this all shows China has done this wantedly. Now, next thing, why would China do this? Okay, economic crisis, what, where, how, why? Oh yes, one. Population, yes. That is one thing. But in general, analysts feel that they have done this wantedly so that they can create crisis across the world. While the world is busy, they can accomplish their foreign policy goals. What they have accomplished till now. Right in their neighborhood. What they have done with Hong Kong. See, Hong Kong was with the British. They released it to China, saying for 99 years, democratic system must be prevailed, one country, two systems. Immediately after this pandemic, when everyone was distracted, They went and changed everything, put a national security law. They shunned out all the democratic lawmakers. Now their interest in Hong Kong is secure. Next, they are focusing some on Taiwan. What about their economic recovery? Economic recovery. Okay. You're telling India's and Taiwan's relationship. They always have interest over Taiwan, not because it's electric hub. Traditionally, they have had their interest on Taiwan. They tell Taiwan is only part of China. Anything else? Okay, what about their economic recovery? They did impose a lockdown. They imposed a lockdown. But now what is happening? They are again the largest growing economy in the world. They were able to control the virus very easily. Now people, they have opened tourism. People are coming, going, all production, everything is happening. So this is with China. Now they say US is a declining power. Inga kuda I was telling initially, US is a declining power. What are the manifestations of it? How can we say US is a declining power? Why didn't you ask me then? Sir, how can you say US is a declining power? Very good. Then, as a leader of the world, how should have been its response to the COVID crisis? Okay. One, this is with respect to domestic sphere, international sphere. Now, why did they cut their fund? They allege that China is dominating the WHO. Now, if you are a leader of the globe, will you cut its funding and move away and say, do whatever you want, what you are doing is wrong? You will not say that. You will tell, you will go and participate there, you will increase your heft in the organization, then join together and penalize China. Has USA been able to do that so far? Has USA been able to do anything about Hong Kong? Has USA been able to do anything about the South China Sea? Now in 5G, what is happening? By fighting with China, they have agreed they are an equal. I don't want them dominating the 5G market. I want it for myself. For that, they have established something called Clean Dot Network. They have told Huawei is a Chinese military company, which in reality is also true. It has national security concern. They are stealing your data. So don't go with them. What is India's position with respect to this? We have not told anything. Since this standoff, we have banned a lot of things along with Huawei. We have not come and openly told anything to them. So any other bodies where USA has come out of? Paris Climate Agreement again shows their leadership skills or their capacity. No, they are still there in the council. It must have been with Israel. That is their policy. Refugee, New York Declaration of Refugees, wherein every country across the globe, especially Western countries, agreed we will all take some refugees. Donald Trump came and told no for that. What about their most important alliance, NATO? They have told, no, I cannot give so much money. You invest money there. Again, shows their wonderful leadership skills. One more UN body which they came out of was UNESCO. Because they were critical of Israel, they told, no, I'm leaving UNESCO, it's a waste of my resources. So this shows USA's withdrawing leadership from the globe. Now, when they were fighting a trade war with China, did they do it singly or single-handedly or with their allies? They did it single-handedly. How many countries did they go and lobby? Did they all put sanctions on China? For 5G, single thing they are lobbying. Anybody else has a trade war with China? Adipo, after the standoff. Any particular country? There is no other country which has a trade war with China. If the USA is able to increase its heft, show its heft, what it should have done? Align all the European countries, all the other countries across the globe, let us all go and contain China. Has they been able to do that? No. No, that has been done with Russia, not with China, not yet. With respect to Russia, it always happens. So these are some of the examples of which I can quote to say US leadership is falling or declining slowly. But then again, some analysts say this is not a reality or this decline is not happening so fast. US still has 800 military bases around the globe. They are still maintaining it. They are not closing it down. We still have that. But generally, there is a consensus that USA's role is declining. So this is with respect to US. So now, as US is going down in its global policing role or its role of a global leader, what will be the implications for the globe? So I told you, after the 1990s, US established something called a liberal world order or a rules-based world order. In this trade war, is US following the rules? No, they are not following the WTO rules. There is something called WTO, they have some rules. They are not following the WTO rules. So they are directly breaking this rules-based order. Now, what is the implications of this on India? Can you guess? India is a country which does not have enough military heft and economic strength to go and achieve what it wants in the global stage. We go through all these forums. We want to vindicate Pakistan, we go to FATF. We go to UNSC. We want something else done, we go lobby with other developing countries in the United Nations Climate Change Forum. We are not yet as powerful so as to implement our own agenda. This will directly affect our interest. Now, this liberal order is breaking. So what could be the future? So these two countries we have seen, they are coming up dominant. What could be the future? No, it was already doing that then. Very good. So as of now, analysts are wondering whether USA will partner with China and they will dominate the entire globe. It will be a G2, like G7, G20, yes? Or will US fight to contain China? So far, the goal has been to contain China. We do not know exactly how this thing will shape up. So every analyst, they all agree, the upcoming order is a state of uncertainty where each country will be left for itself, where each country has to fight for its own interest. So India is going and begging US, come let us fight Pakistan. No, US will not come. US will tell, it is your job, it is not my job to do it. So this poses a more uncertain future for us. We have to improve a lot. So எப்படி improve பண்ணலாம்னு பார்ப்போம். So yes, this was about liberal world order. And one more role that, as you told, West Asia, US was doing wonderfully was, it was acting as a net security provider. Now, what do we mean by a net security provider அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, China has a nuclear weapon, yes. North Korea, South Korea, Japan, no. US are told, I will provide you my nuclear umbrella. If anyone is attacking you with a nuclear weapon, I will come and attack you. This is the role of a net security provider. அதோட security resource அதுக்கு மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ணாம மற்ற கண்ட்ரீஸ்க்கும் சேர்த்து கொடுக்கிறது. So US was not just restricted itself to this region. It gave a nuclear umbrella here. It kept order in the Middle East. It kept order in the Southeast Asian countries. Now, as US recedes, there is a gap that is being created in all these regions. This region, Japan, whether it is ASEAN or it is Middle East Asia. So we'll see how this is manipulating. Which one? Yes. Yes. Not arms. It is about supplying nuclear fuel and nuclear material for the peaceful purposes. Not about arms. See. Yeah. Yes. It is not lending. If you had understood that, or if my words were wrong, please understand. US is not lending. It is providing a cover. It is not giving nuclear weapons to South Korea. It is not giving nuclear weapons to Japan. It is providing an umbrella. So it will not bother any of the NSG things. So what we are discussing is Middle East. So USA is declining. Who are the major players in the Middle East? Iran, Saudi. So broadly, it has been split into Saudi, a Sunni Muslim country, and Iran, a Shia Muslim country. These people always fight. Now, more recently, Iran has got emboldened. How? Iran is becoming more and more braver. They are following a more aggressive foreign policy. So USA is slowly going back from this region, but slowly. So Iran is getting emboldened. They are telling, okay, let us fight a war in Yemen, Saudi Arabia's backyard. They are arming the rebels there. Let us fight it there. Now, USA is killing my commander. I will bomb all their nuclear bases. So slowly they are getting emboldened. Now, as USA is receding, an unexpected turn is also happening. Some new players are coming in the region. Who are they? Good. They are coming as a major challenger and they are telling, I want to be the leader for the Islamic world. So, one example is the recent Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, wherein Russia was supporting one country and Turkey was supporting the opposing country. People were like, or you have grown that much. So Turkey is showing its power. Along with Turkey, Malaysia is supporting its rise. So this is regarding the Middle East. Now in the book to ASEAN, so not ASEAN, South Korea and Japan. These people are worried. USA is going back. How will I deal with a rogue country like North Korea? How will I deal with the belligerent bully like China? So what are they proposing? Okay, we'll come to what they are proposing later. So same thing is happening with ASEAN. ASEAN is a group of 10 Southeast Asian countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Brunei, and some other countries. So they were also under the nuclear umbrella or security of US. US is going back from the region. So this has been happening for some time. The financial crisis எப்போ நடங்குதோ அப்போ வந்து This China came and occupied the South China Sea. In the beginning, they told only this is mine, or I have a claim. Now they are telling whichever ship is passing through, they have to inform me. Tomorrow they will tell whichever ship is passing through have to get permission from me. So US not been able to do anything. Appo freedom of navigation or ship anupuvaanga in against this. So apart from these things, some other countries which are left out are Russia. What is the state of Russia in the globe? Yeah, they are good in arms production. In terms of overall strength, Russia is not as strong, or it is not as strong as it was when it was in the USSR. Its strength has declined. Arms production there, it is there. They can match or come near the capability of US in lot of areas. Nuclear submarines, hypersonic missiles, nuclear warheads. Other than that, their economy is going down. Why their economy is going down? Sanctions. USA continuously puts sanctions so that Russia doesn't grow, which has USA has now started with this guys, China. Now, what about EU, European Union, or Europe in general? COVID-19, and after that, what is happening? Britain. So Britain, one of the most important players in European Union, has told, I don't want your people coming and working in my country. I want a separate thing. So they are moving out. So directly, this reduces the heft of EU. One, then. So you will find that EU is fighting among themselves. Major players here, France and Germany, topmost players. We have a lot of other developed countries like Scandinavian countries, Italy, Greece crisis. Greece was telling, no, leave me. I want to pursue my policies. All the other countries told, nothing doing. We will not pay for what you are doing for your citizens. What about Italy? In the Middle East, a refuge crisis happened. When? What triggered it? The Syrian ISIS war. Ever since that, Italy is telling, let us share the refugees, or let us all put a burden on the Middle East to stop it. They are not agreeing. Entire burden went on Italy. During COVID, what happened? They suffered a lot. They begged for help from Germany, France, and other EU people. They all shut their borders and they told, I cannot do anything as of now. And at that time, who came? Oh, Cuba sends everywhere. Wherever a health crisis is happening, Cuba will send its doctors and medicines. One of the very good things that Cuba does. India don't do anything. India wanted a lot of things. We had hydroxychloroquine, we sent them. China came. First, Italy was very angry because but then out of no other go, Italy accepted the Chinese relief, their medicines, their masks, ventilators, etc. So this is the state of the world now, at least a rough sketch. So at this time, after the COVID crisis, China has emerged stronger across the Europe, across Africa, across South America. They have improved their COVID outreach diplomacy. They have given masks for free, testing missions for free. So they are telling, we are very good. Come and align with us. So this puts for a more confrontation. So US Biden is coming up. What has Biden told regarding his policy with China? Any idea? No. He told, China has to play by the rules, but I will make sure that we are joining with our allies to do it. This marks the difference of approach between Trump and Biden. So far, any questions? Okay, so far we have focused on the world. Why we focused on the world for UPSC? Because international relations, you cannot view it in a simple prism. You cannot view it bilaterally. What is happening between Russia and US will affect Bangladesh. What is happening between China and US will affect Sri Lanka. So we need to have a holistic look with respect to international relations. So we had a general outlook of how the world is heading. Now we'll start focusing on India. So again, a very possible question for this year's mains. So China, how to deal with China? So let us, before going into that, let us start. What could be the possible reasons China started this standoff? Fine, okay. But we have been opposing that for a long time. Okay. சொல்லுங்க. To create a good then. Yes. Then. Yes, agreed. Anything else?
Quad alliance.
Did we start that before the standoff or after the standoff? Talks were going on for a long time. We accelerated after the standoff as a reaction, as a response. So one, yes, it could be a diversion. Now diversion against what? So all the countries, they are angry on China. They want to put up a united front against China to make it pay for spreading COVID. Now China will go and create problems. It will catch every country by its neck and they will tell, sit silently. Started with a border standoff in India, Hong Kong, muscle flexing in Taiwan, a cyber attack on Japan, and also a cyber attack on Australia. So right before this standoff happened, something else happened. Any idea? At the international stage. India took the leadership of WHO. We passed a resolution under our presidency to go and look into the independent origins of the coronavirus and to see how, why, when, what it started. This is happening. China will be penalized. Yes. This is one reason. And diversion from, again, there is also another angle. People inside China are very angry or they are frustrated with the Xi Jinping because he has been power for a long time. He has jailed all his opponents. He is almost a single man. He is ruling China. So there is a lot of criticisms against him. So in order to silence his critics, divert the people's attention, you don't have a democracy in China. Divert the people's attention, create nationalistic sentiments. They do this, they say, we have grown so much, we are the dominant power here. That could be one more reason. Next, strength. This you will find it repeatedly across the globe, particularly in South Asia. Whenever we elect a new prime minister, we will go fire a few shots at the border across Pakistan. Whenever they are electing someone, they will fire a few shots across to us, telling, I am powerful. Then that will stop there. So China is doing this to show its dominance over the country. Now its dominance will be proved if India accepted this standoff. Even during the Doklam, some analysts say they did not expect India to put up a fight. Even now they say they did not expect India to put up such a huge fight. See, our military is our defense capabilities are far, far lower than the Chinese capabilities. There is no way we will go and match them. In spite of that, what we are doing, we are standing face to face and we are having a standoff. If we pull out now, we will be accepted as the junior partner or the junior person in Indo-Pacific region. We are still holding the standoff in Pangong Tso Lake. So yes, one more reason. And in general, with respect to India, all this muscle flexing shows China is growing. I will be a bully. I will do what I want. Understand? So this is some possible reasons, all of the possible reasons why analysts tell China could have started the standoff. Now, okay. So standoff, we are still holding our ground. That is happening on one area. But now the larger question arises. How should we deal with China? Yes, your views. What happened in 62? 1962? Okay. Okay. Agreed. Nehru accepted it was his mistake. Fine. I will tell you, I'll come to that. Okay. RCP is not a grouping. Yes. Okay. Fine. Anyone else? Yes. Good. Then. We cannot compete with China. We have a trade deficit around 55 billion with China simply because we cannot compete with them. Plus, they are manipulating their currencies. It becomes very difficult for us to compete with them. What else? Quad, okay, I'll come to that. Again, before we deal this, I will tell you what China has been up to. So you mentioned something, Quad, etc. I will tell what China has been up to. We'll start with our neighbors. Iran. We want good relations with Iran. Why? Oil, gas, for accessing Afghanistan, for accessing Central Asia, for putting a check on Pakistan. We are here. We agreed to US and we cut out our oil. Same time, China is proposing a trade and security partnership. நம்ம ஒரு ரயில்வே லைன் டெவலப் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம் from Chabahar. Iran is telling நீங்க பண்ணது போதும், let China come and develop. We were expressing interest in Farzad B gas. It's a very one of the biggest gas fields in the globe for our energy security. That is also gone. China is proposing we'll establish a huge partnership. I will station 25,000 soldiers of my soldiers in your country. We are developing Chabahar right near Bandar-e-Jask abdin or port. Bandar-e-Jask port சைனா கொடுக்க போறாங்க ஈரான். ஈரான்ல நம்ம இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் போச்சா? our primacy is lost. Next ஆப்கானிஸ்தான் பத்தி பேசுவோம். What do we want in Afghanistan? We don't want the Taliban to come to power. That is what we want in Afghanistan, because if Taliban comes to power, terrorist ground, it can become a breeding ground for terrorism. All these years we were supporting US, we were supporting the Afghan democratic government. What has US told? Enough of this, I'm going back. We are concerned with this. We are not even a party to a lot of negotiations that is happening in Afghanistan. China has emerged as a dominant player along with Pakistan. Afghanistan is gone. Number 2. Pakistan, எப்பவுமே அது அப்படிதான். Nothing to discuss. We'll come to Nepal. What about Nepal? Yesterday we were discussing is in class Tuesday. So when we were already having a border dispute with China, they told Kalapani and Lipu Lake is mine. Imagine the size of Nepal and the punch it is throwing. So Ajit Doval says India has always a tendency to punch below its power. He is telling we should not punch above nor punch below. We should grow and punch proportionately. So later we'll come. Look at the size of this country. Look at what they are doing. They are dependent on us for everything. Nepal is again gone. We are forming a quad on ocean. He is telling why go there. I have a quad here. They have already formed a quad here. We have lost all these states, or we have lost our primacy in all these neighboring countries. Next, Bangladesh pati paapom. நம்ம ஃபாரின் பாலிசி அப்படிதான் இருக்கு. So Bangladesh, what is our relations, or how is our relations? But other than those strains, it is good, it is growing. But yet, நல்லா அனலைஸ் பண்ணி பார்த்தோம்னா we will know China is the largest trading partner of Bangladesh. In Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh has given China to build a submarine. It has bought 2 submarines from China. It is the largest, China is the largest defense supplier of Bangladesh. Idum pocha. Myanmar, traditionally always Chinese. Ipadan konja India vapavu paathiட்டு இருக்காங்க. We'll come to Sri Lanka. What about Sri Lanka? Hambantota Port. What about the recent election? Who won? Chinese came out and openly supported him. He won. Now, will he follow India first policy? He will not follow. What he has told is, Sri Lanka is a very important country. I will not bandwagon with any country. I will only balance. That means he was telling, I will do what I want, but I will play with all these powers. So this is last. What about this one? Maldives. Any other view? அதுல அங்க ஒண்ணுதான் இருக்கு, அதான் ப்ரோமோட் பண்ண முடியும். Until recent election, Maldives பாதி சைனாக்கு எழுதி கொடுத்துருப்பான் விட்டுருந்தா. By our luck, elections happened. Another guy won. Now that guy is telling I will follow India first policy. So at present, yes, they are tilted towards India. Out of all this, our only neighbor, which has been traditionally with us since independence, is Bhutan. But analysts say it's not a long time before they also go with China. Now, why is this? Why are we not able to maintain our primacy here? So as I told you, with respect to the Forex, they have huge resources. Their project execution capacity is very, very high. They tell I will finish a port within this year, they will finish a port within that year. We cannot match it. The countries usually China could align panna in the marilam poga yan bayapaduvaanga. China is a bully. they will ultimately get what they want. But these countries are located in a beautiful position that is between two powers. If China is telling something, I will go to India. If India is telling something, I will go to China. So they are making merry, they are very happy. So we have almost lost our primacy in the land except Bhutan. Now, so this is China, what China is doing. We no matter what military strength we project, we don't have military strength to project. Two front war அப்படின்றாங்க. அதாவது இந்த பக்கம் China, only it has started a standoff here. They tell Beijing Islamabad axis remains to be actuated. Tomorrow it will be a war like this. நம்ம கிட்டலாம் அவ்வளோ இல்லை. Literally no, we cannot match it with China. So no matter how we project our military, no, not going to happen. சரி military இல்லை வேற ஏதாவது பவர் இருக்கா, cyber capacity இருக்கா? No, that also we don't have. China is very good in cyber capacity. Space, somewhere yes, we are matching them. So this is with respect to land. Now again, coming back to the question, how to deal with China. So I already answered one option you told, military balancing or positioning strength. Then one more point, I think you or he told, we have to align with some powers like Quad. In technically in international relation, it's called bandwagoning and balancing. Bandwagoning அப்படின்னா என்னன்னா, USA கிட்ட போய் மொத்தமா சரண்டர் இருந்தது, என்ன பார்த்துக்கோ அப்படின்னு கொடுத்துறது. பண்ணிடலாமா நம்ம? Why not? Okay, I'll tell you what that is. Okay. 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 We can establish border controls for that. What deficit? Yes. Let us close our borders with China. Let us trade with US. We have a very good trade relation with US. We even had a surplus until 1 or 2 years ago. Then they told, no, you have to buy my oil. So we are buying their oil, no issues. This is a point. First you told about non-alignment. I'll discuss about that. What has non-alignment given to India? Nothing. 50 years we have done nothing, we have got. 62 China had a war on us. Non-alignment could not even pass a motion telling that what China is doing is wrong. Then 71 war, 64 again Pakistan war. What did non-alignment do? Non-aligned movement, nothing. It is a waste. Speaking from a very realistic perspective. So non-alignment pochu. Last enna sonninga? Yeah. US will impose its will on India. See, why we can't do it is, US fighting with Iran, they will tell, you also fight with Iran. But we have interest in Iran. US will tell, fight with China. They don't have a border with China. They are separated by a huge Pacific Ocean. Nothing will happen to them. Here, localized war will happen. Similarly, we cannot go and directly align bandwagon with them. So this option is ruled out. There is something called balancing. That is, we cut out relations or we take a stand and we balance. For example, you are having 1,000 nuclear warheads. China does not have 1,000, they have around 300. I will also build 300. You are having 5 aircraft carriers, I will also build 5 aircraft carriers. You have a port here, I will also have a port here. This is called balancing. Now it can be of 2 types. One can be internal, wherein we will develop our own resources, our own military to balance it. What can we do is internal plus external balancing. In external balancing, we can align with some other powers. That is what is taken the shape of what. Or there is also another option called hedging. Hedging அப்படின்னா என்னன்னா, எங்கெங்க அவங்க கூட சண்டை போடணுமோ அங்கங்க அவங்க கூட சண்டை போடலாம், எங்கெங்க அவங்க கூட கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ணணுமோ அங்கங்க அவங்க கூட கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ணலாம். Can anyone tell any example of where we are cooperating with China even now? One is BRICS. One more vital example is there. So they all don't
Shanghai
have
Cooperation.
output. One organization with a lot of output. AIB, we have got still getting loans from them. It is China's bank, China dominated bank. NDB, we are getting loans from them, again a China dominated bank. We are fighting here, we are cooperating where we want to cooperate. Tomorrow climate change meeting will happen, we will again cooperate with China. So hedging is one option which we are also trying. That will be our majority option. Or one final option, China, I agree, I am a junior partner, you do what you want. So that again will not happen. So we have to go for a mix of balancing plus. They are all subsets of a larger strategy. Indo-Pacific strategy. We have established a division called Indo-Pacific. We are becoming more and more active in that. So US proposed this concept. First they told Obama, when Obama was there, he told pivot to Asia. That is, our focus is going to be on Asia. Why? Because China is rising, we have to contain its power. Then he changed into Asia Pacific policy. Now they have changed it into Indo-Pacific policy. It shows the important role US is expecting India to play in the Indo-Pacific. So we were very lukewarm at first. Why this Indo-Pacific, etc., etc. Why were we lukewarm at first? Or until recently, we were very lukewarm to the idea of Indo-Pacific. Why? Anyone? No, yes, that's why the ocean routes are dominant. Majority of trade happens here. No, why we were idea or lukewarm to the idea? அதாவது USA வந்து Indo-Pacificனு சொல்லும்போது நம்ம Indo-Pacific இப்படி பண்ணிடலாம் அப்படி பண்ணலாம் எதுவும் சொல்ல. We were very calm. We didn't first give out a statement for a long time. We didn't go out and actively build alliance. We didn't build ports. Why? Okay, something like that. They have been increasing their bases. Their presence is largely felt now. See, why we did not, or we were lukewarm to this idea is USA has a policy. Whenever a country is rising, support a junior partner, let them fight, let them die. I will remain at the top. I will arm the junior partner. Indo-Pakistan fight, they armed Pakistan. Indo-China fight, they are helping India. So, ஏன் தேவையில்லாம போய் சைனாவை antagonize பண்ணணும்னு we did not do. So far, until this standoff, our idea of Indo-Pacific was our response was very lukewarm. In fact, in Shangri-La dialogue, our Prime Minister went, he told, Indo-Pacific, our vision is not against any country. It's not an exclusionist concept. In the country, everyone can come together. Now let us form a rules-based order. Even now, that is our stand. But now what has changed is we have become very, very active in the Indo-Pacific. So, இதுக்கு examples என்னென்ன சொல்லலாம்? Malabar Excise, first it was bilateral, trilateral. Now Australia has been inducted into it. Pass index, fine. Not only pass index, we do a lot of military exercise. We do a lot of things just with us solely. We do a lot of things in combination with all the Asian people, with Sri Lanka, Maldives, with Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. Then it's called Simbex, Sitmex, Ekurwin. What else are we doing in the Indo-Pacific? We have established something called Information Fusion Center. If we want to establish our primacy in the Indian Ocean, that is called Maritime Domain Awareness. For that, we have established this center. Now, what the center does, Indian Ocean countries, everyone will pour their information here. They will tell this ship is coming here, this ship is going here. This is for commercial traffic. So we have established this. Then, are we building ports somewhere else? Myanmar, we are trying to get Sittwe port. China is competing with us. We have a port in Sri Lanka. Along with Japan, we are trying to build Colombo port, East Container Terminal, Trincomalee port, Seychelles, somewhere here near Africa, Assumption Islands, Mauritius, we have a base or we have a very active relationship. Oman, port of Duqm, we have got. In Indonesia, Salang, forgot the name. One more port we have acquired. So we are trying to establish our bases all across the Indo-Pacific. This one, then. We are engaging in a lot of trilaterals. This is very new in India. Usually we engage in bilateral, we engage in a multilateral forum. Trilateral abdina, for example, India, Indonesia, Australia, they are coming together, they are meeting, saying let us do something about Indo-Pacific. India, France, Australia. Why is France very important with respect to Indian Ocean? We discussed in class. But Indian Ocean, nothing big it will do. Reunion or island near Mauritius, Seychelles. That is a France. It's still a France territory. So tomorrow, if you want to dominate it, there it will form one important base. So we are having a trilateral with France, Australia, India, Information Fusion Center. We have a mission-based deployment that is in the Malacca Strait is being under India's control. We have logistic exchange agreement, that is Singapore port, our defense ship is going, they will give oil. Singapore ship is coming to India, we will give them oil. We will provide all support. We have signed that with Australia, we have signed it with Japan, we have signed it with Singapore, with US. So US order, we have increased our foundational agreements. This is BECA, SISMO, paper, so that we can have interoperability. So these are some of the things that we are doing in the Indo-Pacific to have our or to create our primacy. But this big strategy has a lot of defects. What are they? How can you improve your answer? You sort of correct it. Yes, how? They have trade with China. Okay, so we have done all this talk, Indo-Pacific, Quad, etc., etc. Strategic talks cannot trump economic realities. RCEP sign பண்ணல, APEC membership கிடையாது, Asian கூட trade deficit FTA இருக்கு, BIMSTEC relict organization, nothing is being done. We can go and shout for bases, we can show I have this strength, that strength. Ultimately, in any such war-like situation, not actually a war, any conflict, minor conflict, no Asian country or any country which has good interdependence with China will come out and support. Because now what we are doing in the standoff, we told, okay, you lose the thing, I will not import your goods, you suffer loss. No country will come and tell, I will suffer loss because of you. So far, on the line la vandirukra oru sila countries vandu Australia. They have very good economic relations with them. In spite of that, they have come out, joined the Quad. They are restructuring their economy. So Indo-Pacific will only be a talk shop without economic cooperation. So this is a state wherein they call damned if we do it, damned if we don't do it. RCP சேர்ந்தா பிரச்சனை, சேரலனாலும் பிரச்சனை. And the very idea of Indo-Pacific, very idea of Quad. Have every country come together and they have told this is what we want for Quad? Recently only we had our meeting. No, we did not even come up with a joint statement. No country told this is our vision for Indo-Pacific. India tells the Indo-Pacific starts from the eastern coast of Africa, extends till Americas, north and south. America tells it starts here, it ends in the Indian coast. Japan has some other vision, Australia has some other vision. The Quad, no country named China. No country came up with a unified policy against China. Does Quad have a secretariat? No, meeting a regular is first meeting we have had, open first formal meeting. It's an informal dialogue. It is not a formalized dialogue. It does not have a secretariat. So, Quad vandrum, Indo-Pacific vandrum, nama primacy vandrum abdina, a very, very long way from happening. So this, in general, I have told you the outline of IR. That's all from my side. Any questions? For conclusion, until India grows economically, we cannot convert any into military strength. Any questions? We are already being affected, or industries are being wiped out. Agarbattis, for example, almost all the agarbattis we use are from China. We are trying to stop their import and develop indigenous industries. Khadi Village Industries Council, they have come up with a mission recently. Maybe a easing of trade or customs procedure ease பண்றதா இருக்கும். பட் நீங்க என்ன சொல்லுங்க எனக்கு தெரியல, பார்த்தா தான் தெரியும். Yeah, that is only for easing customs rules. நம்ம சைனா கூட ட்ரேட் வேணா we'll ban China. அதுக்கு இதுக்கு சம்பந்தம் இல்லை. Whatever countries with which we are having our trade, that should go smoothly. அது ஒரு சின்ன agreement. Anyone else? So for you people who are just starting a year, if you don't understand a lot of things, it's fine. We'll discuss it. Ama. 99 years. That is what they are not only in Sri Lanka, the BRI project, they are doing that. They will give loans which cannot be repaid by a country. They will tell in the port, if the kattitamna 20% traffic year on year growth agum, traffic growth agum, customs growth agum, you will be able to pay me back abdin solluvaanga. That is all inflated figures, wrong figures. Such growth will not happen. The country will not be able to repay the debt. China will come and tell, okay, I will have this port. Like that only recently, they have got Hambantota port in China, sorry, Sri Lanka. BRI entire project is like this. So wherever they want ports, their strategy is this. No other go. Cell phone, laptop, நம்ம economy இன்னும் அடி வாங்கும். Digital India ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம். Where will we go digital? I was discussing raw earth minerals in one class. No. In your class? No? We need some rare earth metal for all this electronic manufacturing. China remains 80% of the world's rare earth minerals. We cannot do without that. No country can do without that. Good question. In our vision of a world order is to create a multipolar world. Many powers so that everyone will get balance, no one will break the rules. China's vision is of a unipolar world order. They want to establish their hegemony. So இந்த வாங்க பேசி தீர்த்துக்கலாங்கிறதுலாம் இதே கிடையாது. You stay there. ஸோ அதுக்கு தான் அந்த சைனீஸ் ட்ரீமோட எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொன்னேன். அவர் வேர்ல்ட் ஆர்டர், அவர் எய்ம் ஹஸ் பீன் அவுட் இன் த ஓப்பன். ரொம்ப வருஷமா நம்மளுக்கு இதுதான் எய்ம். Chinese aim is to establish their dominance. Chinese economy is integrated with so many countries. ஒரு country பண்ணாலும் ஆகாது. It needs to happen across the spectrum. See, their imports or their exports to India is roughly around 4% or something. So it won't impact much. Again, the 4%லயும் அந்த rare earth metals எதெல்லாம் இருக்கும் அதெல்லாம் பண்ணனா அதுவும் கம்மியாயிடும். எல்லா countries பண்ணா definitely it will have an effect. Individual country, 2 country, 3 country பண்ணா பெரிய எஃபெக்ட் இருக்காது. என்ன சீஸ்? ஆமா. They will be relocating their bases, so manufacturing bases from there to here. So we feel, our experts feel that this is a huge opportunity to do it. China obviously does not want it to happen, but they don't have on the low cost manufacturing, labor cost they have lost. They are now moving for the next industrial revolution based on AI, machine learning. Not only now, Vietnam, Bangladesh, Indonesia to an extent, they have been very famous investment destination for quite some time. They are better than India. Their ecosystem is far better than India. So that is what they are telling as a criticism. Those countries are able to do it. Why isn't India able to do it? They have a good, it's not free trade, it's a good ecosystem, ease of business. Fine. Okay, then guys, we'll break.